One man's call for peace has been soundly rejected. What does this mean for future relations between fans? Your next generation of Xbox could do more than just play games and stream content. It slices, it dices, it cuts through concrete and remains sharp. Actually, I don't know what it does. I haven't read that article yet, but we'll give you all the details. Plus, 2 filmmakers chronicle the final Xena convention, and Sam sheds a tear. Nigel checks in from the multiverse, and we've got a great interview you do not want to miss. That's all coming up as we continue to celebrate 400-plus episodes of Slice.
Covering all the news from every dark corner of the universe.
Warning. Effects of time shifting may occur.
This is Dr. Michio Kaku.
I'm Peter Mayhew.
This is Trisha Helfer, number 6 from Battlestar Galactica.
Hi, this is Colin Ferguson with Sci-Fi Channel's Eureka, and you're listening to Slice of Sci-Fi.
SliceofSciFi.com.
We are the Juggernaut. We cannot be stopped. I'm Michael Armenengay.
I'm Sam Roberts.
I'm Tim Adamek.
Oh, that's me. I'm Megan's here.
You sure about
that? No.
And who pray tell are you?
I was waiting. I'm trouble. I don't know.
This is why you don't watch the monitor.
I
didn't
know the order. I thought Noah was next.
Speaking of,
The Padawan is always last.
Oh.
Wow.
I've already been introduced. So.
It's tradition.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I thought I was third.
Well, after that train wreck of an open, I think that we will probably just go to some news.
In shame. In shame. Yes.
It's on me. Sorry.
And now, the news.
For years, fans of Xena Warrior Princess have been lobbying for a feature film to cap off the successful run of their favorite show. I wasn't too hip on the last episode, and I loved Xena.
I've actually never watched it.
While we
I've
don't
seen a
have
couple episodes.
it gets pretty fantastic. And while we don't have good news on the film, we can tell you that 2 Nashville filmmakers are turning the spotlight on the movement and its followers. Okay. Annabella Hargrove and Bridget Hardville are working on a documentary on the upcoming final Xena convention taking place later this month in Los Angeles. The 2 women's documentary will be titled The Final Journey, saying farewell to Xena.
Never.
Well, no, not in our hearts. Musician and lover of creative things, Hardville will shoot and edit the footage, as well as make color corrections and a corresponding soundtrack. Hargrove will act as screenwriter and co-director. Fans will be emphasized in the feature-length film. The show's effect on pop culture also will be discussed. The duo began the project with just 18 days to raise the funds needed for the film and the cross-country journey. They've done that and plan to give donors rewards such as autographed DVDs, photo stills, and personal screenings of the documentary. They're asking for help from those who are willing to give monetary gifts to make the film possible for the thousands of Xena followers.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I love the Hercules Xena little genre of cheesy but good in their own special way shows.
A few episodes, but
a lot of great actors came out of that. We got Carl Urban from there, Gina Torres, Martin Chokash, people I love.
What's really sad is Spartacus is coming back at the end of the month here, and I'm really going to be missing
Andy Whitfield. Oh, her. She's in there. She's not.
She's in it.
She's not
Lucy
in the
Lawless
new.
Is
yeah, she is.
Lucy Lawless is not in that. She died in the last one.
No,
what are you talking
she's
about?
back.
No, she's in
back.
it.
How can she be back?
She didn't die. We just saw her collapse, and a lot of blood was there. But she's back.
Yeah.
Forgive
What's
me.
Spartacus without Lucy Lawless's boobs? There is no Spartacus.
You can't kill Lucy Lawless. She's like immortal.
She's not,
I mean, they had to box her on Battlestar. You just, soap opera.
Lucy Lawless is immortal.
I'm telling you, she should be. All right, speaking of actresses we love, actress Katie Sackhoff will be hunting Vin Diesel in the next Riddick installment. I didn't even know they were doing that. Yeah. Sackhoff has signed on to join the movie as the female lead.
Cool.
The role would be a Nordic mercenary hunting Riddick. And the casting is good news for the project. It means it has resolved its budgetary issues and is moving forward.
Well, I'm happy to hear this because I still think the Fast and the Furious thing made a ton of money, but the Riddick thing had way much more.
It was better movies.
Yes.
Yes.
I enjoyed the plot. Sorry.
I enjoyed the seat.
I enjoyed that allegedly Vin Diesel tried to get Judi Dench to play D&D with him while they were shooting the second one.
No,
I hope it's true. I hope it's true.
Nice.
George Takei took to the internet a couple of weeks ago to try and broker a peace between William Shatner and Carrie Fisher in their long-running feud over the Star franchise. Which Star franchise was better, Wars or Trek?
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, no. Takei said the real enemy was Twilight and implored both to bury the hatchet or at least stake a vampire.
That's right.
I love that.
George has wisdom. He knows.
I
like
love
that.
you, George.
Excellent.
You make my day every day.
It seems Shatner isn't willing to do that, however.
Of course not.
In the latest volley
He's
in the
the
saga,
Shat.
Shatner said, no, George. I was going to do a Shatner impersonation, but I don't think I should try. You're the greatest threat to equanimity and peacefulness. Retribution must be paid, George. I need retribution.
There you go.
See, we need Brian.
Right. You can see the full video on our Slice of Sci-Fi website. It's pretty hilarious.
awesome.
I have
So we're
watched
going
it.
to roll Shatner and glitter.
Yeah.
Roll Shatner and glitter.
Twilight.
Boy,
Twilight
there's something
glitter.
I really didn't. That's an image.
I'm not going there.
With or
Dear
without the
God.
girdle?
The glitter girdle, yeah.
With her at the toupee.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, moving on.
Next, Lana and Andy Wachowski are reportedly pursuing actress Natalie Portman for the lead role in their upcoming sci-fi project Jupiter Ascending.
I'm sorry, what?
Their upcoming Lana and Andy Wachowski and Natalie Portman, Jupiter Ascending. Did I?
That's something.
Lana and
Yeah,
Andy?
Lana.
one of the brothers
Oh.
is transgender. I read a while ago, a few years ago, he was
was a while
transitioning.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't know until I read Lana.
Yeah, the last I heard, he went to the award ceremony on a leash, but I didn't know he actually went the full.
Whatever works for her. I support it.
Hey, there you go.
The Warner Brothers project, whose plot details have remained tightly under wraps, would reunite Portman with the Matrix filmmakers after the two collaborated on the graphic novel adaptation V for Vendetta, which was quite good.
Yes.
So Portman has been taking a break from acting to spend time with her newborn son. It's
well she
reported
should.
that Jupiter could start filming this fall, giving Portman a bit more time with her son before she returns to acting.
Good for her.
Yes.
I do have a
Family,
problem
whatever.
with Wachowski brothers, though.
You can't say it like that
No,
anymore.
really.
Wachowski's siblings.
The Wachowskis, the
Mike
Yeah.
Wachowski.
I
Wachowski's
guess.
just plural.
Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Okay, I'm good.
Those
Whatever.
people.
The Wachowski people. I like that.
People.
There you go. Those people.
Yeah.
Covers it.
You can shorten it to peeps and be all hip
The
and cool.
Wachowski peeps?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but then I think they're like
Coming out
they're
in
like,
Easter.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
like made of marshmallow.
Right, they're made of
and-
marshmallows.
They've
Yeah.
made the full
Only sold
transition
in
to
stores around
marshmallows.
Easter.
Right, not only transgendered, but soft and fluffy and get really
Okay,
big in the
how
microwave.
about one more
We're gonna
story and we'll move on to some
Most
other
console-
news?
Before we offend somebody.
I teased this one, so I have to read it. That's the rule.
Exactly, yes.
Most console games can stream digital content,
Yeah.
but the next generation of Xboxes could offer you a chance to also
gonna stream
serve
you.
as a DVR.
Oh.
Really?
That would be cool.
Microsoft filed a patent with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office last month discussing the recording of media such as television on a gaming console.
That makes sense.
The DVR features will be embedded within the console menu, allowing media to be recorded while playing games, as well as when the system is turned off. Recorded content can include television program, games online or off, music, DVDs, and more.
TiVo 360.
Interesting.
That makes
There you
sense.
You know, that actually, it does make sense. And
No,
it's
absolutely.
kind of cool.
It's a convergence device. I mean, since
Right.
they've put Netflix and the ability to download movies and all, it really makes sense.
Exactly.
Tempting.
Shall we go to some other news?
I think so.
From Castle Black at the Wall in the north to the Dornish Hills in the south, this is the Westeros News.
Well met, fellow subjects. I'm Mr. Blackthorn, and let's see what news the crows have brought us. Well, we're all going to die. But our distinguished reporter, Rigo Reginald, has the story of a poor fellow who has had his demise quickened by foul play. What can you tell us, Reginald?
Yes, well, I'm here in the town of Bitterbridge, standing over a bloody peasant corpse, trying to learn the details of this gruesome death. Excuse me, sir, do you know what happened to this man?
Oh no, sir, I'm just a farmer, but I think it were the mountain what killed him.
So he fell off the mountain?
No, not a mountain, the mountain. Sir Sandor Clegane.
I'm sorry, but if it was Sandor Clegane, then it weren't the mountain, and he weren't no knight. He's the hound.
So he was killed by a hound?
If the hound ain't no knight, then what is he?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's the king's god, but this here looks more like the work of the mountain. And as I was saying, his name is Gregor, not Sandor.
Well then, if it were the mountain, then it were a Lannister what sent him.
Oh, you think Tywin sent Sir Clegane, huh?
Who, the imp?
No, the imp is Tyrion. Tywin is the imp's father.
I thought Jaime was the imp's father.
No, that's the imp's father's other son.
So is Tywin that grey-haired fellow in the gold armour what stands next to Jaime?
No, that's Lord Commander Barristan.
The mountain don't work for the king, he works for the lion.
So he was killed by a lion?
Okay, listen. I didn't say King Baratheon. I said Lord Commander Barristan. Anyway, if King Robert needed someone killed, he would have just had Varys arrange something, right?
But isn't Varys across the water with the Dothraki?
Oh no, you're thinking of Viserys. Varys is the king's spider.
You don't expect me to believe a spider killed this man?
What are you going on about?
Well, as you can see, nobody knows for sure what happened to this man, but the speculation is that he was travelling on the mountain and was attacked by a hound, or a lion, and possibly bit by a spider. Back to you, Master.
Thank you for that report, Reginald. And now this very intimidating savage has an announcement.
Coming next fortnight, the Dothraki Horse and Blade Show. You haven't seen this much horse flesh since the Kalasar Summit at Vayas Dothrak, and there will be enough blades to make an arena of Iron Thrones. At the Dothraki Horse and Blade Show, we have Blood Rider Showdown, a mounted archery contest, finely crafted whips and aurochs, candied horse hearts for the kids, and a 20-foot mega horse made entirely from bones of the vanquished, and a special appearance by the Khaleesi. Bring your kids, bring your slaves. There's fun and potential disembowelment for all. Come to the big tent at the Trident just off King's Road across from the old Crossroads Inn.
And finally, the Westeros weather with old Nan. Nan, what do we have to look forward to?
Winter is coming.
Well, yes, of course. Winter is coming. By the seven and the old gods, woman, do you ever say anything else?
Don't test me, you summer sissy, or I'll cut off your and feed it to your crows.
Charming as ever, Nan. Well, that's the Westeros news. And remember, if something good happened to you, then you weren't in Westeros.
Take your Gmail account to the next level with the Gmail Podcast. The Gmail Podcast will make you more proficient and teach you features about Gmail you may not have known. In just a few minutes, you'll learn tips and tricks that'll help you stay organized using Gmail. If you don't yet have a Gmail account, log on right now to chuckchat.com and let us know. We'll be happy to send you an invite. Get the most out of your Gmail account with the Gmail Podcast, available at chuckchat.com. You've got Gmail.
Hey, Slicer Sean from Edwards. Wanted to wish you a happy 400th episode. Wow. It's crazy. I think I started listening to you guys right before you got to 200. I have to look back and see how far back. Happy 400th, guys.
And welcome back to more of Slice of Sci-Fi. I'm Michael Armenegay.
And I'm Brian Brown. And today we have something different, folks. We're talking to Gary Schreiner. And now you may say, who is this guy exactly? Well, he was a sound engineer on Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why are we talking to him? Because he's kind of involved in this really cool little charity, and we'll talk to him about this. But welcome to the show, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, Gary, we're talking today primarily about Fix the Chapel, which is this basically charity event that you're trying to get to save the church chapel that was in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a little bit difficult to separate the two. It's, it's a chapel, but there are hundreds of chapels around that I couldn't save, to save my life. But this one happened to have been in Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
So it gives it gives it a status above other chapels in that regard. And and it's just one of those unfortunate things that kind of fell into disrepair because it really wasn't being used. It never was really used, other than it was only 2 times in history was it used actually as a place to hold a memorial service. But it just kind of fell out of favor. Nobody can really completely answer that question. There's a lot of unanswered questions about it, but it's interesting that every day a few more of those dots get connected. And so anyway, it just sort of they used the basement of it to store lawnmowers and weed whackers.
Wow.
And it's well, and I, when I started this whole thing, we're going to save the chapel, and this is to Kyra Sean and some other people, and they go, what are you talking about? What chapel? And it's like, well, the chapel in Night of the Living Dead in the cemetery in the beginning, and they go, never knew that was a chapel. We always thought it was like a caretaker shed and a tool shed. And I go, well, all right, here I'm on a fundraiser. What am I going to call it? Fix the tool shed? I don't think so. That's not going to go very far. Not quite sexy enough. So, but in truth, it was built as a chapel, and kind of was one of those things in history that I don't know. It kind of took a right turn when it should have taken a left turn and just kind of fell off the end of the earth. But its saving grace was that it happened to be in the background in a couple of shots in the beginning of Night of the Living Dead. So that buys it a pass.
And they're going to just tear it down. Is that right? It's condemned, and they're planning on tearing it down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. And this has been going on for, I don't know, at least 4 years that I know. When I first came back to Evans City, and I started doing a little thing called the Living Dead Festival, which was just sort of to pay homage to Night of the Living Dead here in Evans City, where it was made. I just happened to have a farm in Evans City as well.
Ah, okay.
On the outside of Evans City, so I am truly a resident, and that had, just the way it happened in life. There was no plan for all this, and I didn't relocate to Evans City to become the savior of the chapel.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, but anyways, long and the short of it, I started kind of getting into the groove of Night of the Living Dead in this little town, which has kind of pretty much just left it go to sleep. You could go through Evans City very easily, and there's, no banners in any windows home of the Night of the Living Dead, that there's no welcoming sign when you come into Evans City saying home of Night of the Living Dead. And I always thought that was just kind of bizarre.
Well, it's kind of a shame. I mean, it's like be proud of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some cool stuff.
Well, I think it's purely cultural. I don't think it's I don't. It's a hard thing to put my finger on, but it's starting to change. And now, that's for later on in the interview. Right now, this thing was about to fall down. It's actually not as bad as that. There's a lot wrong with it, but it's the bones of it are still very strong, or else I don't think we would be involved with it, and probably would bulldoze it. But it's strong. It's it's just absolutely fine. It needs some tender, loving care and a few bucks, and so.
Well, I was going to say, this thing's not very big. It can't take a whole lot of dollars to keep this thing put back together, right?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's all a degree. It's a degree of, and we're still in the midst of. It's going it's going deep now since yesterday, and we kind of the little group got picked up in a Pittsburgh Post-Gazette article. Got picked up on the AP wire, and it, I don't know if you knew this, but it just went ballistic. I mean, we were everywhere. 155, I think, or 158 different publications picked it up yesterday. An article that was written. It was in the New York Times, Washington Post.
Wow.
It's when that happens, it happens. It just goes really big.
Well, you made our show, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now, how did you find out about me? Or don't you have any idea? I bet you it's your executive producer.
No, actually,
behind-the-scenes people.
Actually, I saw an article online about it, and I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. It's really topical that here, I saw it yesterday, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden, wham, here we are talking to you today. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Social networking and in this whole sort of pace and world is, I'm kind of an old school guy. I was back in advertising when you edited film and things were slow and, and meticulous and painstaking and craftsmanship and all that sort of stuff. And now I get onto Facebook, and if an idea can survive for more than 15 minutes, it's really strong.
That's true. Exactly right.
But that's it. It's just like it could be the most profound statement. It's got about a 15-minute life. if you're in an active group.
That's actually right. That's absolutely right. So
it's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different. I mean, people are. I think modern culture is much more interested in content than depth of content. So I just think there just has to be more. I mean, how many shows like this are there, or can there be because of technology? There's a lot, and so I've been on 15 of them. And they're all neat, and they all have their own little personalities, and they all have a niche, which I actually like. I mean, I think it's just kind of stripping the creative, or taking the creative production back to the people who are actually creative and breaking down the system. Of course, wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that I have one of the most intensely successful independent films in my background.
Well,
wouldn't
Gary,
be anything like that.
I mean, Gary, why don't you tell folks where they can, find information about helping you out with this? I'm sure you got a Facebook page or something of that sort, right?
Yeah, we got a couple of those things. You can find us on Facebook at Save the Chapel Group or the Living Dead Festival. Over there, you'll get to us. And then our website is www.fixthechapel.com.
Okay, and basically you're taking any kind of amounts that people want to donate for this or time?
Yeah, it's I had one today for $1.
Well, there you go.
Which it's just, I don't know, when you see that, you think of the circumstance behind it. That one, $1 was different for some reason. Yesterday I had one was for $3.58.
Okay.
$3.58, and it almost made me cry.
Well, that's somebody broke open their piggy bank. It's sweet.
It was like, this is how much I can do, and I'm going to do it. And to me, that's worth its weight in gold. There's power behind it.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for talking. Well, Gary, thanks. We're all out of time, unfortunately, but thanks for talking to us today. We do appreciate it.
Hey, it was fun.
All right, folks, we'll be back with more Slice of Sci-Fi right after this.
Hi, guys. It's me, Monica Spack, calling from upstate New York, and just wanted to say congratulations on number 400. Wow. That's a lot. You guys have been keeping us extremely busy, so congratulations.
Reactor leak detected.
Hey, Slicer, Sean from Edwards with more
news from Flight Test Land.
Stratolaunch Edition. Ground recently broke on the new facility for Stratolaunch. Stratolaunch is the new startup that will be using the world's largest aircraft, purpose-built bi-scaled composites, to carry rockets up and launch them into space. The facility will be used to build, house, and maintain the Stratolaunch aircraft, which will be the world's largest aircraft, powered by 6 747 engines. It's a twin-boom design similar to that of White Knight 2, but looking much more like the 747 from which it's pulling the engines. The aircraft will be extremely light and capable of carrying a massive load. In particular, it's being designed to carry a variant of the Falcon rocket by SpaceX with the intention of carrying the Dragon space capsule, which will be test launched on February 9th out of Cape Canaveral to do a test docking with the International Space Station. So, once the Stratolaunch facility is finished, they'll begin construction on the Stratolaunch vehicle itself. And hopefully in a few years, we'll see one of the largest aircraft in the world putting satellites and men into space again. Sean from Edwards out.
Excellent.
Outstanding.
It is, and it is very cool. Actually, if you go to space.com, I believe there's a mock-up of it, or even just go to Scale Composites, and there's some concept drawings of it. It's it's massive. It's huge. It's going to be cool. Oh, that is wow. We're like really out of time. Do we got any last few minutes here?
Yeah, we got a minute.
Yeah.
Got a minute.
I'm excited to watch Fringe tomorrow, which will have already aired by the time you people listen to this. But yay, Fringe!
Yeah, that's all back.
Speaking of, what the heck's going to happen to Fringe? There's
we don't
some
know.
rumblings that it's going to
ratings are not fantastic, even in the Friday night time slot, which doesn't have high expectations. So no decision has been made, but I'm not optimistic.
I'm not either. I'm terribly afraid that, ooh, boy, we could get down. I don't know if I've got time for this rant. But
creators have discussed continuing in other mediums, like maybe, comics or web series or something.
Okay.
But we don't know.
Maybe move it to like HBO or Showtime. Would that be awesome?
That kind of awesomeness just won't happen because it's that awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we can always dream.
Yes.
Anyway, we're the dream has ended for us, at least for this week. We'll be back with more next week. We'll be in for recording. Check out the show. Check out the websites. Check out
www.sliceofscifi.com.
Absolutely.
Sliceofscifi.tv.
And find us on Facebook and Twitter. See you soon. Thanks, guys.